I'm pretty close on finishing, I guess finishing, my Tiki bar slash Tiki studio of sorts. So I wanted to give you some insight onto things I did if you're building a home Tiki bar. So I built a structure kind of outside, like a separate building. Let me go ahead and kind of show you. So when you first walk in, I'll give you the whole overview to start. So that's so right now this is, it's 22 feet long by 14 feet wide, and the ceilings go up to about 16 feet high. So you walk in, and I've just started putting up, so this matting, so a lot of this is this matting. I've also used fire retardant on the matting, which is this right here. And then I just have either rolled it on or sprayed it on. It does make this a little sticky, so I'm not a fan. So I don't know, it's supposed to dry on there, but it doesn't dry very well. I've tried a couple different times. It's kind of inspired by this Whitco bar. So the bar I put together, I don't have this amazing fancy piece, but I wanted to do this large bar. I also got postcards. You can see it, the first one I did, I wrote, this is supposed to be over here, and this is supposed to be the address. But I bought postcards and kind of started these little stories, and I bought like Papua New Guinea stamps from like the 1940s, 1960s. So these are all like real original postcards from way back when, and then I've kind of weaved stories throughout them and put the Papua New Guinea stamps on it. Amber, my daughter, made this piece here for me for, you know, either a birthday or Father's Day. Goodwill frame that I just knocked out and put it in. More postcards. This is Leroy Smoltz. This was a piece, I think from the Tikis. It was in the Oceanic Arts auction, the first one. I went ahead and framed it. There was a bunch of drawings. It's interesting because it's before, I think, the Polynesian was done, and he had this kind of Maui figure that looks very much like the Polynesian. So I think that might be where he started with that design. So that's kind of the entryway. I took some bamboo. I got most of this bamboo from just Forever Bamboo online, which is super expensive. So if you can source it locally, and then it comes not finished. So I torched it with a blowtorch, and then I put a finish on it, which really made it look good. And it just rolls, or it just slides around. I still have a lot of tools and stuff in here, and I still have a lot of space to finish off. So when you first walk in the door, this fish is massive, and I have one that's twice as large. That's from Red Lobster. when a lot of the Red Lobsters closed, and it's got some heavy-duty hardware that Brooke, my daughter, and I used to put it up there. Off to the left are these J tiles. There's a guy who makes these on Etsy, and they're like ceramic. I just have them temporarily tied up here with metal. I have this to lash them up here with, but I haven't done it yet. And then I made this bamboo structure and put it together. I think this is just raw, so this is not, yeah, I didn't torch this or put the finish on it. I have this little thing here for like umbrellas when you first walk in, and I've got spears, blow darts, umbrellas, spears, leave at the door, little sign when you first walk in. So then off to the left, so you're walking in. I wanted to kind of enclose all this area, but it's just not big enough. So the bamboo and this bird of paradise kind of gives you a little bit of a visual break when you first walk in, and then you're kind of drawn to this fish that I've got a spotlight on, and the ceiling, and then you kind of get the view of the whole room. So you come in, I built a little divider here, and you've got seating. So these chairs are from Walt Disney World. These are from the Caribbean Beach Resort. And the table and the two chairs it's a nice little table with a kind of nautical themed pirate look to it. These came from the pirate rooms. So they had pirate themed rooms at the Caribbean Beach Resort. And that's where that table and chairs came from. So they were, when they redo their rooms, they get rid of, some of the stuff. It's got a really nice pattern on it. You can tell I'm still working on stuff. But, I ran power. So when you build your own tiki, when you build your own tiki space, you want to make sure you have enough outlets. So even with all the outlets I put in, and I put in a ton of outlets, you could always use more. I mean, there's no way you have enough outlets. And I just have a few lights up. I do have a ton of outlets in the ceiling. So I did put, my own panel in here. So it's got air conditioning and heat, and then it's got a lot of room if we want to do more. This wood here, these are cedar fence posts from Home Depot that I cut, and I did all this little notching, I just notched and then sanded it. And then all these little pieces, I took a chisel to make all these little dents in all of them. So they look distressed, but they weren't distressed. And then I used some paint and then rubbed it off to kind of give it that kind of pirate ship. So yeah, it's kind of a pirate corner. This lamp came from Walt Disney World. It was broken. It says doesn't work SI on marker on the back. I fixed the lights on the inside, rewired the lamp. They were missing glass, like that one's glass, and then the rest of these I used plastic. Yeah, that one's glass. And then I just used the same kind of sponge to make it look old. And then I rewired it, so that came out nice. It's kind of like maybe Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't know. It's somewhere from Walt Disney World, so maybe Magic Kingdom, I'm not sure. Then in the corner there's a giant fire extinguisher, just in case. I went on a Tiki home bar tour last week, and like two of the bars that I went to, they're like, oh, the house burned down 2 years ago or 5 years ago. And I was like, okay, I probably should have lots of fire extinguishers. Ship wheel, which you can pretty much get on Facebook Marketplace anywhere for like $50 to $100, believe it or not. These are from the Polynesian Resort at Walt Disney World. They were just all beaten up, and I put them back together, wired them, and then they have dimmers on them as well. So these were on the bedpost behind the beds over at the Polynesian Resort. So then we have Nellie. Nellie's down here. Nellie, what are you doing? So Nellie's here. She likes the cold floor. I stained this floor. This was cement. And then I used a stain, 2 different colors. That was a lot of work to give it this kind of orange and dark espresso kind of look to it. So that's what's on the floor. And then it's sealed. Now the bar, I wanted to make something that kind of looked like a Whitco bar. So that is from Pleasant Tiki. These Tikis on the side, they custom made for me to fit. There's one on each side. This cloth is supposed to be as close as you can get to what Pleasant Tiki is using. And I have a piece from them that has cloth that looks pretty much like this. So that's the cheetah pattern they're using. I put like cleats here, like metal cleats, just on both ends. So if someone comes and they have a backpack or a purse, They can hang it up here. The cloth is all in the front. That other piece is from Pleasant Tiki, so it's like a Whitco piece. These stools are awesome. So these stools are from, I believe they're from the Whitco bar, the Dragon Whitco bar. And it kind of has this dragon feel, like scales and Viking shields kind of on the sides. They are awesome. Finding stools for your bar that are authentic and in good shape is a lot of work, and it took a couple years to come across all these pieces. These I cleaned up too. So these are I think these are from the African bar, Whitco stools. I have 2 more of these that I have to still redo that I haven't redone. So if there's more people, I can put them in here. And then another stool over here. And then the front of the bar has this Pleasant Tiki Whitco piece on it here. Off to the right, this is a pirate chest. This again is from Walt Disney World, from Caribbean Beach. These were in the rooms. These are from the Polynesian Resort. These are from the rooms over there. And then just a bunch of, all these photos are from like from the Air Force, I think from the early, I think the 1940s, I can't remember. It's on the back of each one. There were like Air Force photos. And I have a few of those, and I framed them. This artwork is also one from the Oceanic Arts auction where Leroy was making different signs. I have a few of these where he was just trying to sell different designs and ideas. And I think it was for the Tikis. So if you're sitting at the bar, this is kind of the view you get from there. So I wanted to go, because I worked at Disney and my wife worked at Disney. I worked at the Grand Floridian Resort, so I was in resorts. Lisa worked in parks, so she was at the Magic Kingdom. She was manually sewing the names on ear hats back then in the 1990s, and I was working front desk and a couple other things over at Grand Floridian. There were no, and the original Polynesian was there with the original lobby. There was no Trader Sam's. So I went to Trader Sam's at Disneyland because of course I love Disney, and I wanted to kind of bring that home, and I'm in Atlanta, so I'm about 7.5 hours from Disney. So occasionally I go down and I try to find stuff and pieces, and I went to Trader Sam's there, and I've been to Trader Sam's in Anaheim. And yes, it's not the amazing traditional tiki bar, it's kind of a Disney-fied version, but I liked that layout, and I like that giant at Disney World, Trader Sam's. They have this, and they have a similar thing, I guess, in Anaheim. They have this giant cabinet with all kinds of, different size shelving, and I uplit the center section, which was a lot of work because it's all DMX lighting, so you can control everything with DMX, which I have not really figured out enough. So that's where that whole idea there came from, and I wanted to bring it as high up as I could, so it goes way, way up. I have a lot of room still to put a lot of pieces. You start collecting for years and years and years, and then you build a place, and you realize you have all kinds of room, which is good. So yeah, I have these pieces, which are super cool, which I need to figure out what to do with. So that hasn't been done yet. These came from North Carolina, from this place here in North Carolina. There was a store that sold tobacco products, and lighters and some Tiki stuff back in the 60s, and they had a huge warehouse of stuff. They closed, and then this stuff sat there forever, and they finally went up for auction. So I got some of these there. I got these table lighters with like the original, like, they've never been used. I got a few of those from there that are brand new as well. This is from, this piece here is from one of the Oceanic art auctions. I think the second one. And my daughter got me the monkey. Of course. Alani over at Disney's Alani Resort. I have some pieces that aren't Tiki, but these are the Star Cruiser at Disney World. I was on there before it closed, so that's one of the drinks, and that's one of the drink mugs from the Star Cruiser, which was actually cool. Everybody hates on it. It was ridiculously expensive, but they had so much staff and so many people on that thing. My kids had an amazing time. They actually cried when we had to get off. I mean, they loved everybody. So it was fantastic. These pieces here, this one and this one, are from the last auction that we had. So these were, which one? The Exoticon one. These are from the 1940s, approximately. Vic Bergeron. So I have to put them in a better place. And then the Kermit the Frog is because I love Kermit the Frog. And then, of course, my wife is like, oh, you're doing Tiki. So I'm trying to go for a more traditional Tiki. But, and of course, I've got some Disney mugs. The Disney Treasure, the new cruise ship, has a Haunted Mansion bar, and that's where these are from, and also this drink. This drink is super cool. So these drinks, these are like kid drinks. And if you, they get all, they have like 4 different versions of this that are different flavors. They have death certificate when you get a different drink. So that's a fun bar. Not Tiki, but Tiki-esque. The Haunted Mansion bar on Trader Sam, or on the Disney Treasure cruise ship. So these pieces, which are probably hard to see. So like this piece, these larger Papua New Guinea figures that are way up here, all around the bar. Those are all from auctions because it's very hard to find any of this stuff. Nautilus, again, another Disney piece. This is from the Disney Treasure. This was from the Oceanic Arts auction, I think the first auction. More of these new table lighters from back in the 1960s. Pleasant Tiki's Whitco pieces. Then my daughter made this koi, because we have a pond with koi. So we have a pond with a lot of koi, and then I left the hose on to fill it up, and they all died. So that was not great. So I need to get more koi and be a little more cautious on what's going on. So this, a lot of these pieces, so in Atlanta there's a lot of movies, in Fayetteville, and movie sets, and there are prop houses, and a lot of them closed, and a lot of them were Disney owned. So Disney closed this big, huge warehouse full of props. So this was there. So I got a lot of things there at a great deal. So I got this here. These again are all these totems that I got at that one auction from that place in North Carolina. Some Trader Vic's pieces, because there's a Trader Vic's here in Atlanta. This Jungle Cruise mug is also from that Disney Treasure cruise ship. They have a Jungle what is it, the Jungle Society or something, I can't remember, like a Jungle Cruise bar. And then these are also from that movie Marvel Disney prop house when it closed. Oh, these are cool. These little, where is it? Does it come on? Maybe, maybe not. There it goes. So those are awesome little garnishes for your tiki drinks. Some little tiki stuff. This is where all the DMX is set up to turn on all these lights, so you can change all the colors. And then this again is also from that prop house. So it's just, this tube radio is awesome because it's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone to it, and then it has all these tubes from back in the day, and it sounds great. So that's good. I put in cabinetry all along both sides, so I could have all kinds of room for you know, all kinds of tiki stuff kind of right at your fingertips. So that's what is here. There is an ice machine that I have not turned on yet, so it is installed here so I can do nugget ice. But the cabinetry is nice. This is a Home Depot Backsplash. I like that kind of burnt orange color, and it kind of gives a little color to the bar. So that's what I was kind of going for there. This again is from the Polynesian. This is an ice bucket. From there, I forget where the fish trap lamp came from. It might be like an Etsy thing that you can get there. Little Joe, I think, is the Tiki. This is again from the Polynesian Resort, this lamp. This barrel, this rum barrel, which actually has USB and plugs in it, because this is a mini bar. So this is a mini bar from the Caribbean Beach Resort at Walt Disney World. And I have the fridge that I bought in there separately. And it, yeah, so there were mini bars from the Caribbean Beach pirate rooms. That's another Oceanic Arts piece, and again, another piece from the Polynesian. I tried all this backing, I did over at Forever Bamboo, and it took forever. I guess that's why they call it Forever Bamboo, to go all the way up there, and to get it all the way up there. Oh, these monkeys are awesome too. These I got at an auction, again, that guy in North Carolina that had. So these are like a barrel of monkeys. They're all wood, and they're from way back, I don't know, probably the 1960s as well. Nellie's just hanging out. You all right? So I've got a ton of room up here to put some pieces. These lamps are amazing, and I do not have the artistic talent to make lamps as amazing as this. So these are all custom made, and they look spectacular. So like all three of these lamps, and I only have 3 up here so far. And then this bamboo lattice, the Disney Polynesian lobby has something similar to that. And I've got this rope, this big rope that's tied around this pillar here, and it goes up there to a pulley, and then it's pretending to hold it up. And then this lava lamp is here. So all these lamps, oh, here it is. So a lot of these lamps were done by Mary Beth. She's on Facebook. She did an amazing job. So she did the lava one, and then this one. This one has a jade tile in the bottom, but it's hard to see. And I did purple and blue because no one ever does it. So it's not, I guess, your traditional. So I was talking about electricity. So up here are these outlets. So there's 4 outlets there. There's another 4 over there. And then over here is 4. And then over here is 4. And then at the very top of the shelving unit that you can't see is 4. And then behind the bar, on top of this hut that I did by this window, is another set of 4. I do have windows, which a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't have windows. And I thought I can cover them up at some point. But right now I kind of use it as a studio office as well. And it's already kind of dark in here. So I will eventually get some window coverings for them so I can control the light in here. But right now they just give me just enough light. So when I'm in here working on stuff. So 2 big bamboo poles. This is real thatch that I put all the fire retardant spray on. Then way up there is a Whitco piece where there's a lady praying, and then there's this spear with the 4 shields on it, which also has kind of that cheetah pattern. And then I did a couple little tropical pieces. You can get all that on Amazon. And then also way up there, that board with the alternating pattern of orange and red stamps. So I made a design on the internet, and then I had stamps made on the internet. And then I got wood, like 1x6 from Home Depot, and then painted it brown and kind of distressed it. And then I took the stamps and alternated them, just kind of back and forth and back and forth. And then when the ceiling was being worked on, I put them up there. And then all of this matting between these 2x8 beams, again, is another forever bamboo. You need a ton of matting. So, all right, so the bar here, what else? Trash can. This trash can is from a Western movie or TV. It came from Disney when they're closing their prop house. So my daughter and I tried to make it a little less Western and tiki-fy it and put a tiki on the front. Like a Leroy Smoltz piece, and then all of that on the trash can to tiki-fy it a little bit. And then I had to get, this is not tiki, but it reminds me of like the tiki room at Disney, so I put that in. Back here is an air conditioning unit and heating unit, so that's nice. I've left this background open because sometimes I do podcasts and things here, so I'm filming here. This Whitco piece kind of hides the air conditioning unit, and I try to make sure it doesn't blow on it. And it's just attached by chains. And then back around. Just lots of tropical plants. Like some of these I even picked up, like this banana plant from the prop place at Disney when they were going out of business. So a lot of stuff like that. This giant Papua New Guinea 6-foot something sculpture was at an auction. Some tikis, some lighting. I think this was Oceanic Arts, maybe, yeah, or an auction somewhere. May have been Oceanic Arts. So this was off of one of the Imagineers desks, and it's a reference photo over at Disneyland for the Tiki room. And I've hit a clock here, so I know what time it is when I'm in here too long. I'm like, what time is it? I still have ladders and stuff in here because I'm always working on stuff. So we're getting closer, but I think that is it. Oh, this piece is super cool too. This is another, I think this is the Exoticon auction, kind of the cannibal piece from the Maikai. But all these pieces, even when, you know, it's been cut up and whatever, because it was probably used on a pole, like for a railing or a post for a railing. But everything when you get stuff at auction is really expensive, because you pay what the auction price is, and then you pay like a 20 to 30% auction fee, and then you pay shipping, and then sometimes you pay, and then you pay tax. So if you buy something for like $400, by the time you get it home, if you have to have it shipped and everything, there's not a lot in Atlanta, so you have to have it shipped. So it's always double. So if you paid $400, it's $800 by the time you get it, and then it's not as great of a deal as you thought it was. So anyways, but it's hard to find all this authentic Tiki stuff from back in the 60s. So if you have questions, let me know. Again, if you're doing this, I wanted high ceilings, so that was key. So I made sure I just built a structure. I wanted it also enclosed, so I did that. The other thing I did is these beams. So these, where are they? These beams right here. I made these beams because buying them is ridiculously expensive, and finding them. So those are Home Depot 1x6 on the side and 1x8 on the bottom. And then I took a hammer and chisel, and over like a week, I made all these little distressed marks in all of them. And then I painted them, and I glued them and screwed them, and they're hollow on the top. So you can see that light up there shining on the, so inside of the beam is DMX controlled lighting. So it shoots up to make it look like it's kind of sunlight. So that's why it's lit up there, because inside of that beam is lighting. And I can also use it to run cables. So I run cables from this side all the way over there, then up, and then above this tiki hut. And then I've got lighting controls. There's also lights here and here that I don't know. I mean, the idea was, let's turn that on and this off. So the idea is I could do black light, like if I did different drinks. So those are black light, and so they're behind the people that are sitting at the bar, and then they kind of shoot this way. So they can do black light if I do, and they also can change to any color or whatever, or not be black light. So that's what they just currently are set to right now. So yeah, a lot still to do. The door is still white. There's a lot of stuff to do still on a lot of the walls. But if you have questions, let me know. It's hard to find Tiki stuff. So if you have hints on where to find Tiki stuff, leave it in the comments. Put photos of your Tiki bars and little videos too of your Tiki bars. I'm always looking for ideas, because that's what I did. I just spent a ton of time watching other YouTube videos to get ideas. Like Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour is amazing. Like, I probably watched his videos hundreds of times or thousands of times to be like, okay, how's he got lighting? How's he doing the matting? Putting the matting up, oh, I've tried every different technique to get the matting cut right and put up. So if you need pointers on that, I can give you ideas of what I did there. But it's a fun process to kind of figure it all out. So yeah, leave comments, leave questions. If you're in Atlanta, if you have a Tiki bar in Atlanta, I'd love to see it. Come over and get some ideas as well, or have you over. Yeah, hopefully this helped.